Subscribe to this channel and like it, thank you. The single dad, Ian, noticed her the moment she stepped into the cafe with her little boy clinging to her side. She looked exhausted, anxious, and painfully alert, as though she expected danger to burst through the door any second. While helping his daughter, Zoya, with homework, Ian kept catching the woman glancing repeatedly at the exit, her fingers trembling as she guided her son toward a corner table. Something was terribly wrong, he felt it instantly. Her eyes carried a story she wasn't prepared to speak aloud. She sat close to the wall, half hidden behind a pillar, constantly twisting her dupatta around her fingers. Her son kept trying to comfort her, but her attention was fixed on the entrance, her breath shallow and uneven. Zoya whispered to her father that maybe the auntie was scared. Ian didn't reply. He simply kept his eyes open, watching quietly, sensing that this wasn't a simple case of nervousness. This was someone trying to remain unseen, someone already running from something she feared deeply. When the waiter approached her, she flinched so sharply that the spoon almost slipped from her hand. She apologized repeatedly, her voice barely a whisper. The waiter left, but Ian's concern grew heavier. Her reactions weren't normal, they were survival instincts. Every clatter, every footstep, every noise made her jolt. It reminded him of the time he'd helped his sister escape her abusive husband. Fear like that stayed in a person's bones long after the danger was gone. But for this woman, the danger wasn't gone, it was near. A sudden thud outside the cafe made her gasp loudly. She clutched her son and looked around in terror. Ian saw the boy whisper, "Mama, he can't find us here." That single sentence confirmed everything. She wasn't just scared, she was hiding. Ian immediately lowered his gaze to avoid alarming her, but inside, he felt a shift. She had a child with her. She was alone. And she believed the person she was running from could walk in any second. Her phone buzzed on the table, the screen lighting up with a name that made her freeze. Ian couldn't read the name clearly, but the way she turned pale told him everything. She silenced it instantly, pulling her son closer. Ian walked to the counter, pretending he needed a refill, but he positioned himself where he had a clear view of the entrance. He wanted her to know she wasn't alone, without making her feel cornered or watched. She tried to calm herself, but her hands shook uncontrollably as she attempted to drink water. Her son stroked her arm, whispering that she was safe, but even children could feel danger. It was written all over her face, the look of someone who had decided to run but didn't know where to go next. Ian returned to his seat, but placed himself closer, enough that she could sense help nearby if she needed it. Zoya kept watching her too, her little eyebrows furrowed with concern. The cafe door opened suddenly, and she jerked like she'd been struck. Her son gasped, grabbing her hand. But the man who walked in wasn't the one she feared. Still, her breathing became ragged, and she looked like she was seconds away from fainting. Ian approached very slowly, speaking softly so he wouldn't startle her. "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" She shook her head instantly, fear swelling in her eyes, but her son looked up at Ian with silent, desperate hope. Ian backed away a little to avoid overwhelming her, but he didn't return to his original seat. Instead, he sat at a nearby table, offering safety without pressure. Moments later, her phone buzzed again. She stared at it with terror, then abruptly grabbed her son and stood up, almost knocking over her chair. She whispered frantically to him that they needed to leave. Ian gently stepped into her path, not blocking her, but stopping her from running blindly into danger. "Is he outside?" Ian asked softly. She froze. Her throat bobbed as she swallowed, and then nodded shakily. She whispered, "He said he's coming. He always finds us." Her voice cracked, and tears filled her eyes. Ian immediately crouched to the boy's level and said, "You're safe right now. I promise." The boy nodded slowly, trusting him. The mother stood trembling, torn between fear and instinct to protect her child at any cost. Ian called the cafe manager quietly, explaining only that someone dangerous might be outside. The staff closed the back door, dimmed the lights slightly, and prepared for whatever might come. Ian guided the woman and her son toward the back corridor that led to the storage area. "There's a delivery exit behind the building," he whispered. She shook her head, terrified that running would lead to being caught again. But Ian knew she needed a safe chance. Her phone buzzed again. "I see you. Don't try to run." She almost collapsed. Ian gently took the phone from her shaking hands and turned it off. Listen, he said firmly but kindly, you are not alone anymore. I won't let him near you. His voice carried a calm strength she hadn't felt in years. For the first time, she didn't look at the exit, she looked at Ian, and something in her expression softened, as though she was trying to believe safety still existed. Zoya came running up, holding her school bag tightly, offering it to the little boy as comfort. He hugged it, tears filling his eyes. Ian placed himself near the corridor entrance, scanning for any sign of threat. The woman whispered that she had left her home that morning with nothing but a few clothes, after years of being beaten, stalked, and threatened. Today he had told her he'd kill her if she ever left. She had run anyway, for her son. Ian didn't ask for details. He didn't need them. He simply helped her move toward the delivery exit quietly while the cafe staff pretended everything was normal. The alley outside was clear. Ian took a quick look to ensure no one was waiting. Then he guided her out with calm confidence. My sister works at a women's shelter 2 streets away, he said. They'll protect you. I'll walk you there myself. She finally exhaled a breath she had been holding for years. As they walked through the alley, the woman kept glancing back, but Ian assured her no one was following. His presence alone made her feel stronger. When they reached the shelter, the staff welcomed her warmly, immediately taking her and her son inside. She turned back to Ian, tears streaming down her cheeks, and whispered, "You helped me escape. I didn't know people like you still existed." Ian simply smiled and told her she deserved safety. Before leaving, her son hugged Ian tightly, thanking him with the pure sincerity only children carry. Zoya held her father's hand, proud of him. As they walked away, Ian realized he hadn't just helped her escape a moment of danger, he had helped her reclaim a future. Some people run their whole lives searching for safety. Sometimes, all they need is one stranger brave enough to stand between them and the door they fear. Please tell me how you liked the story in the comments. Thank you.